In for Chibalonza, who is ailing today, Consolata Chibalonza, who's not feeling well today. I pray that she'll get better by the end of this week. Now, later on in the bulletin, we'll be looking at the battle for Central Kenya, which is really intensifying, with the Deputy President Gachagua seemingly under siege, or as one of our former police commissioner would say, under siege. All this will be coming up in a couple of seconds or so. But first, President William Ruto has defended the national government's action to double taxes, saying that the action is aimed at increasing national income and reducing dependence on foreign loans. The president says he intends to increase taxes from the current 14% to 16% later this year. And you know, Kenyans have been socialized to believe that they pay the highest taxes. But empirical data shows Kenya, as of last year, our tax as a percentage of our revenues was 14%. Our peers in the continent is on average between 22 and 25%, which means we are way below, our taxes are way below those of our peers, you know. And I'm not comparing ourselves with OECD countries. You know, countries like France are at 45%, you know, others are higher. So I persuaded, and I made a case to the people of Kenya that we must begin to enhance our revenue. Because if we are a serious state, we must be able to enhance our taxes. So my drive is to push Kenya Well, at the same time, Azimio leaders have threatened to call for demonstration over the increase in taxation.
We are just...
Well, we'll be revisiting that bite in a couple of seconds or so as our director Moses sorts out a couple of things. Well, this as the National Council of Churches of Kenya, Nyanza region, expressed concern over the proposals contained in the 2024 finance bill, accusing the government of being insensitive to the plight of Kenyans by overtaxing them, even as corruption and wastage become rampant.
Let me understand that. And to some extent,
the finance bill that is coming up for debate and hopefully, as known in Kenya, they may find their way with it. But we as a church do take note of the fact that we have a very insensitive government, that even after going through difficult times in 2023, when promises were made that things may get better in the future, Kenyans did struggle through the year, and even as we began this year, there was some hope. And here comes a bill that kind of dims that hope. We want to tell the government that they are being insensitive to the cry of the Kenyan that is adversely affected by this bill. When you ask me about any alternative they have, we have a government that seems to be too wasteful, and we have always raised that issue even in the past. We have a wasteful government, and whenever they even talk about cutting down on expenditure in certain areas, they have not yet lived to that talk. So the alternative that I would propose to this government is to relook at their budget, prioritize their expenditure.
Well, it's good to hear the church speaking on this issue. My director, Moses, now tell me the clip on Azimio is now ready. This is what they had to say about the proposal to increase taxes in the country.
We urge you as Azimio legislators and those who want to be on the right side of history to be vigilant and thoroughly scrutinize all the bills that come to the committees and the floor of the House. Let us ensure that they do not claw back on all our negotiated gains. Thirdly, the Kenya Kwanza regime continues its avarice appetite for taxation. The new raft of taxes in the Finance Bill 2024, from bread to M-Pesa transactions and motor vehicle taxes, speaks to their callousness and inhumanity. I notice that Parliament has given the 28th of this month as the last day for those who want to submit the memoranda by way of public participation. The impeachment trial of a Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development, Mithika Linturi, was the biggest farce thus far. That 7 MPs could overturn the vote of 149 members of Parliament. How would you call this? It's absolutely ridiculous. Mr. Linturi should do the honorable thing and resign. Number 5, this is a clarion call to the Azimio fraternity and all Kenyans of goodwill that we are ready to exercise our constitutional right under Article 37 of the Constitution of Kenya. That is the right to peaceably assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and to present petitions to public authorities. We thank Conrad Adenauer Stiftung for hosting us this morning. We continue to appreciate your partnership in broadening the democratic space in our country.
Well, let's see how this is going to play out. It definitely looks like what you can call a Rambo in the jungle. They're planning to go back to the streets because of the plan to increase taxes. Now, barely a week after doctors, basically the demonstration and the strike by doctors came to an end, clinical officers have now decided they are going to down their tools. This is what they said today during the meeting to declare the same.
Wednesday, we will be withdrawing all the staffs, anesthetists, critical care, and all the staffs under the Ministry of Health, including those working under the Port Health, those working under Mathare Hospital, those working under KU, Kenyatta University Hospital, those working under spinal injury. Tuko na wengine wanaitwa cashiers, wanalipwa 18,000. Mtu amefanya degree amemaliza. Alafu yule ambaye ako kwa kandarasi ya kudumu analipwa 1,115. Wanafanya mandhari ni sawa ambao wanafanyia kazi.
The healthcare workers in this country need a central management system where they can directly negotiate or rather get allocation from the treasury to employ.
We are asking for enough clinicians so that you do not have to wait 8 hours in that health center.
Employ more staff to guarantee takeover of the UHC.
Well, that's a very sad situation, and I think, my opinion, these guys should give us a break because, you know, most of the times when there is a strike, when the doctors or the nurses go on strike, the doctors don't suffer. Actually, it benefits them because now everybody is going to go to the private sector where the doctors who claim to be on strike in the public sector are operating their clinics. And so it's a sad situation because the people who suffer the most are the people who cannot afford to go to the private sector for health. And so this is just sad that the lives of people are actually the bargaining chip for them to get better pay. Fair so, they need to get paid well. And so the government in this case should come together and do something. Stop taking us through all these things. It's very unfortunate. Now, Central Kenya. A storm is brewing in the Mount Kenya region as the leaders fight to become the region's kingpin. The tug of war, an indicator that the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who is the highest-ranking Central Kenya government official, is yet to bring the Gema nation under his firm grip. Now here is a report on the war that is going on there. A supremacy battle has been brewing in the Mount Kenya region as the leaders jostle to become the Mount Kenya Supremo. Even though the current Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, holds the highest position in the government and would ideally be considered the automatic Mount Kenya kingpin, he is yet to be accepted as the supreme voice of the region. For the last couple of days, the Deputy President has been engaging the region in a message that resonates with the people in an attempt to show that he cares for the region. However, he does not seem to be gaining a lot of traction because shortly afterwards,
Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is a believer and a proponent of one man, one vote, one shilling.
CS Moses Kuria shot down the message, warning that he will not allow himself to be used to deceive the Mount Kenya community. This is what the CS said. This is why I will not lie to the people of Mount Kenya region about one man, one vote, one shilling. Our region has produced the sitting Deputy President, 9 cabinet members, including the Attorney General, National Treasury and Secretary to the Cabinet, Majority Leader, Chair of the Budget, Chair Finance in the National Assembly, Deputy Speaker, Deputy Majority Leader in the Senate. What other powers would we be looking for? We are government and we can implement one man, one vote, one shilling by Friday if we are serious. Let us be honest to our people. End of quote. Moses Kuria has in the last couple of days been complaining that President William Ruto has been meeting leaders from Kiambu region without him, wondering what the president was up to. These as organizers of Limuru 3 socio-economic and political meetings scheduled